Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are, sleigh bells. The sleigh bells alert me that we are here for another Holiday 2021 new release. Today we are going to look at the brand new quad from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Cosmic Pearl. This is the, I believe, end of her little trickle of holiday releases. Charlotte Tilbury released her traditional 12-pan palette, which I reviewed, then quite a few more things, and we had an advent calendar and all sorts of sets and kind of cool things. And then we had the release of the Celestial Pearl, this little guy right here that we'll look at in a minute, a week or so ago, and I reviewed that, and I will put that review down below. And now the Cosmic Pearl. So we are going to look at Cosmic Pearl in a few different lighting situations. We will compare it to Celestial Pearl because why wouldn't you? They're kind of sister palettes, really. And I will do a little demo on this eye look I have here. And then I have some thoughts that may surprise you, especially because I am such a fan of Charlotte Tilbury. I'll leave it till the end. So let's just get into it. This little guy is a quad. He is $56. It is the latest addition, as I said, to the Charlotte Tilbury 2021 Holiday Collection. We have 4 shades here in 4 different formulations, including a Duochrome. So here they are in the palette, just so you can kind of see how that looks when it's in the palette. There's a pink and a rose. We have a Duochrome teal, kind of a teal blue brown Duochrome. This palette is not organized in the traditional Prime Enhance Smoke Pop, okay? The Celestial palette had a very traditional pop shade. In fact, let's compare the two and I'll explain to you what I mean, and then we will look at them on my arm. So here is our very brand new Cosmic Pearl, and here is the sort of brand new, but a slightly bit less new Celestial Pearl, the 2 holiday quads, okay? New one here on this side, and Celestial Pearl right here on this side. So Charlotte always goes, they're very different. Look at the difference just when you see them in the quads. There's no mistaking the two. Charlotte always goes in a sort of what we call in America clockwise manner. So we have a Prime Enhance Smoke Define, because you would never have this be the pop shade. Whereas in the Celestial Pearl, we had Prime Enhance Smoke Pop, and it was a very traditional pop shade with a little bit of kind of glitter to it. In fact, the shades in this original Celestial Pearl do have more glitter and kind of sparkle to them, a little more of a champagne-y sparkle than the more deeper, a little bit more kind of matte satin, although there is a duochrome in both palettes in this Cosmic one. Okay, so let's look first at just Cosmic Pearl just on my arm in studio lighting. We'll get some other lighting in there too, but just take a look. Again, that is, the shades are laid out in a clockwise form from the palette Prime Enhance Smoke Define. That dark shade would not be a very good pop shade there in the end. That would be a failure for sure. There are no rules in how we use our makeup, but I'm not sure I would do it that way, so it is called Define. Now, let's do exactly what I was mentioning and take a look at these together on the arm. All right, so take a look here. Showing 8 shades, both quads. There is definitely a difference. I will leave my arm still and then move it around a little bit just so you can kind of see how those shades glisten, and you'll definitely see it in our next lighting. So take a look at those 2 there. If you're trying to decide between the 2 palettes, I do have an actual preference of the 2, which I might ruin for you in a sec. But let's go outside and take a look at these on my arms in the bright California sunshine. We have the exact same way that you just saw them in studio lighting. Take a look at that there. See what you think. Both have a duochrome shade, but as you see, Celestial Pearl is a little bit more subtly and a little more bubbly. And I will give you a little bit of a hint right now, I actually very much prefer Celestial Pearl, which I think is a beautifully subtle palette. I will tell you my thoughts on this one as we go, but first I want to come back and do a little demonstration with it, and then we'll take it from there. Stay right there. Okay, let's see what we got going here. We are going to start, I am not really going to stick to the Prime, Enhance, Smoke, Define. Let's just, you can, and that would go in a clockwise manner. Maybe we will. I don't know. Interestingly enough, I have a little bit of concealer on my eyes. I'm just going to use the prime shade here. And I have a little bit of concealer on my eyes that's creasing actually. So this is a good way to stop that creasing and set it. Okay, so that is now all over the eye. Nothing too exciting there. Let's go ahead and switch brushes. I have some Sonia brushes out here, Sonia G brushes. And I'm gonna go into the second shade, the enhanced shade, and actually I didn't even tap it off. Let's just do as Charlotte would do and enhance kind of in windshield wiper motions, but I'm gonna kind of swirl just a bit because I want mine to go just a little bit higher as I have hooded lids. Okay, so I'm not even tapping it off. I just really wanna kind of get in that crease and really define it with this shade. So back and forth, and those motions there. Interesting. Okay, so far so good. I am going to take another one of Sonia G's brushes with that same enhanced shade and just go all the way under just to give it, same shade, a nice look. Okay. I think I'm going to skip over this Duochrome just for now because I do almost want to use that the way we would traditionally use a pop shade. So I'm going to take my Sonia G brush and go into what she is calling the define shade. And of course, if we defined our eyes, that would be on the outer edges, right? So, well, you can define your eyes any way you want. I'm resisting the urge to define the word eyes. I won't do it. Eyes. Two orbs in our faces. Okay. All right, so that's kind of defined. Now that is interesting. This is going to need that Duochrome. I want to zoom you guys in just for a moment. And you know, this needs to be maybe blended a bit more and fixed just a tad, but it's blending into one shade. Not that that's a bad thing, but it almost feels like the Enhance is a lighter version of this defined shade, which is fine, and it's very kind of monochromatic and therefore interesting and very of the moment, but not generally Charlotte. So it seems and feels very monochromatic. That's not a bad thing, but it's a thing, okay? So I wanted to point it out. All right, let me take my little finger here and go into this very beautiful Duochrome shade, and let's use that almost like we would use a traditional pop shade and give this some definition and some more interest. Without that, I mean, we would have a pretty eye look, but I'm not sure we would have a fascinating or terribly different or interesting eye look. It really should be this, I want to call it a pop shade, but Charlotte's calling it the smoke shade. Can give it that interest and kind of, in that sense, save the palette from mediocrity. Is that the wrong word? Well, I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to take that same Duochrome and just kind of go under the eyes as well. What do we think? Let me get some mascara on, and I definitely have some thoughts. Stay right there. Okay, I added in some mascara and some liner. What do you guys think? I look a little bit like I've been in a bar brawl. I don't get in bar brawls. If I were to get in a bar brawl, I feel like it's a pretty palette, and I'm going to play with how I apply it more. And I traditionally love everything Charlotte, and I'm not about to stop loving everything Charlotte, but I don't feel, for me, this is her best palette yet. Please tell me if you disagree. So many of you have ordered it. So many people were unhappy with the Celestial one, the original Pearl that was just released a few, week or so ago, the Celestial Pearl. For me, that is a much prettier, softer, gentler palette. The good news is that for those of you who this was a little too subtle for, we now have this Cosmic Pearl, and it's definitely much more vivacious and packs more of a punch. No pun intended. I don't think it was supposed to pack that kind of punch. I do feel a little bit black and blue. I will play with it a little bit. It's certainly interesting in terms of its formulation, and I like the fact that it's a much different palette than the Celestial Pearl. But is this my favorite? Right now, I reserve the right to change my mind, but right now, no, I do feel like I've been beat up in the back of an alley. Not generally a look we associate with beauty, but we'll see. I'll play around with it a little bit, and of course I do definitely want your opinions as well, and I do reserve the right to change mine after I've played with it a little bit. I'll pin a comment, but right now, remember. Okay, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, and I sure hope that you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love for you to do so that I can see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.